Hey, I am so sick and tired of some white people making comments on my videos. I don't know my history. Go do some research. I am a 55-year-old African-American woman born and raised in America from the Midwest. I have experienced racism my whole life. I remember being a freshman in college, and I told my English teacher, she was about her late 40s, 50s, white woman. I said, racism has always existed in America, and it always will. Her response, oh, I certainly hope not. Ma'am, you can't even relate to the experiences that I've had, and I could not relate to her experiences. Now, fast forward to 2025, well, let's go back to 2024. That's when a lot of people, black, white, blue, green, purple, whatever color you want to be called, learned that America also hates women of any race. But we're going to talk about slavery. Yeah, slavery. I did a short called The Irony of It, and I'm going to link it to this video so you can go look at it and you can look at some of the comments. And in particular, one viewer, Curveball, I have nothing but the utmost respect to you. You didn't call me any names, you didn't curse at me or anything like that. What you did say, and I'm going to read it word for word. No, they did not kidnap people. Africans sold Africans. Around 380,000 Africans came to North America. 17 million went to Arab countries in the Islamic Arab slave trade, and on and on and on. I know that some Africans sold their own people, but when I said that white people, the racist slave owners, starting in 1619, were kidnapping Africans, they did indeed kidnap Africans. Yes, they had help from other Africans. So I'm gonna read something. I did some research because you all think I don't know my history. I know my fucking history. I did a question. Did white Americans kidnap Africans to make them slaves? This was the response. Yes. White Americans, primarily through the Transatlantic slave trade, engaged in the kidnapping and forced enslavement of Africans. The Transatlantic slave trade. European powers and later American colonists initiated the transatlantic slave trade to meet the demand for labor in the Americas, especially for growing crops like sugar, tobacco, and we all know cotton. Kidnapping and capture. White traders and slavers, often working with African intermediaries, again, I never said that Africans didn't participate, engaged in the brutal capture and kidnapping of Africans. Africans were seized during raids on villages, captured in wars, or sometimes sold by other Africans in exchange for goods like firearms and textiles. I also point out some of those Africans who caught other Africans and sold them, hell, they were in turn captured and made slaves too. So these racist white people, they took whoever was of a different color and, if they could, enslaved them, plain and simple. The Middle Passage. Kidnapped Africans were then forced into ships and subjected to horrific conditions during the voyage across the Atlantic, known as the Middle Passage. Disease, starvation, and violence were rampant on these ships, with a significant percentage of captives dying during the journey. Years ago, I tried to read the book Roots by Alex Haley. I couldn't get past him being on the ship because he explained, and had me picturing it in my head, the brutality of that passage. You had slaves chained together like sardines. They shit on themselves. They peed on themselves, they vomited, and they were laying on just bare wooden planks or shelves, whatever you want to call it. By the time they finally got to America, you could see the muscles and sometimes the bones because their wood had worn away at their skin. And there were tears. So if you were at the very top, you shit and pissed on everybody else. You vomited on everybody else. And the white people who were bringing them over here would come in there with a hose, not hose, they didn't have hoses back then, but with buckets of water and splash it over them. This is seawater, so it has salt. that gets in your wound, I think that hurts a little bit. Now, I want to get to this one part. It is crucial to acknowledge the central role of white Americans in this horrific system of forced migration and enslavement. And it also goes on to say, there were Europeans, there were other people from other countries who were involved, like the person Curveball was saying, trying to find where they named the other countries. And I know that. I know my history. But I also know that white people kidnapped and enslaved they weren't Americans, but Africans. They raped us. I shouldn't say us. They raped the Africans. They had breeding plantations. The sole purpose was to make more labor. They cut off limbs if some of the slaves tried to escape. They killed slaves. They beat slaves. Savage, horrific conditions. And let me tell you something. I don't hate white people. I don't hate any people, except I hate racist people. I don't care what race you are, black, white, blue, green, purple. If you're a racist, if you hate somebody else solely because of the color of their skin, I fucking hate you too. Racism can work both ways. And again, I'm not saying all white people are racist, okay? I'm not. What I am saying though is history, and I'm gonna put a link to this page that I did this research on, shows that white Europeans and then the colonists, because who were the colonists? They came from Britain, right? European. You got over here and you didn't know how to survive. So the Native Americans had to help you out that first winter. Then you get here, who's going to do the work? So you go over to another country, kidnap people, and you did kidnap people. They did kidnap people, along with the help of other countries. Now, never said it wasn't. I'm focused on America. I'm born and raised in America. I could give two figs about the other countries. Yes, other countries were involved in the slave trade. I know this. I'm American. I'm focused on America. Now, Curveball says, well, his family came over and they weren't involved in the slave trade. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. Never said you were. Let me read another comment from another person. This is from my Johnny Boy 2. Wrong. The Democrats owe y'all reparations. Leave the rest of us the F alone. Nothing in my short said anything about reparations. You brought it up. I know when in the 50s and 60s and probably even before that, Dixiecrats, the Southern Democrats, you talk about some racist white people, most of them were racist. You know why? Because they didn't want the South to change. They wanted slavery to continue. Hell, that's why we went to Civil War. The South wanted to keep slavery. The North knew it was wrong. It's fucking wrong to own another person, to rape, beat, maim, cut off shit, take children away from them, sell them. It's fucking wrong. Slavery was wrong. America, you need to admit it. Do you need to do reparations? Yeah, I fucking think you do. But in that short that I'm talking about, I never mentioned anything about reparations. My Johnny Boy 2, you went there, not me. And again, the name of the short is Talk About Irony. I'm going to connect it to this video. So for now on, if you're going to make a comment on my video, which I want you to, one, be respectful, because I'm going to be respectful back to you. I'm going to give you the same energy you give me. That's just how it is. I'm 55. I found my voice and I'm going to speak my truth. If you're racist, I'm going to tell you you're a racist. But don't come at me and tell me, do your research, know your history. I fucking know my history. The amount that you will let me know. You know why? Because the racist slave owners, they cut off the history of the Africans. When there was a census, they didn't put Buffy, age 25, Buffy, age 55. They put Negro female, age 35, Negro male, Negro boy child, Negro female child. I've traced my history. I can only go back so far. I found where some of my family members were slaves. Fucking slaves. And then my trail ends because I can't trace it back. The racist slave owners did that on purpose. They didn't want us educated. They didn't want us to really know anything. They didn't want us to know who we are, where our kids were sold to, or nothing. Why? Because if you're weak of mind, weak of heart, because you're missing your loved ones, you don't understand the language, you don't know how to read or write, they can control you. The same shit that's going on now with the 47 administration. Push. They want to keep us poor, uneducated, sick, and hungry. If you are all those four, you can be easily manipulated. But you know what they quickly realized? We ain't going out like that. I will give the British colonists this, the Pilgrims this. They left Britain to come over here because they didn't want to be ruled by a king. America is not going to be a dictatorship. There's not going to be a king. You look at all the resistance, look at all the town halls. White people are fighting and standing up and shouting, not people that look like me. We've done the fight. It's y'all's turn. You all got us in this situation because the majority of the people that voted for 45 and now 47, you're racist. I didn't say all of you. I said the majority of you. You know why? Because when he talked about getting rid of the immigrants and doing all this stuff to people that are black and brown, you fucking loved it. You wanted that. Hurt everybody that doesn't look like me. Leave us, the YTs, alone. Let us have all the riches. Well, guess what? He didn't give a fuck about you. Only people he care about are the billionaires. And you billionaires, you Zuckerbergs, you Bezos and all that, y'all wrong. You're standing by, seeing all this big, beautiful tax bill being passed to save you all money on the backs of us slugs out here. Well, you know what? Us slugs made you billionaires and we can take it away from you too. Just look at what's happening to Target. Talk about fuck around and find out. That's the year of 2025. I'm going to get off my soapbox. But again, if you're going to come for me and try to tell me, do my research, educate, no. Why don't you first ask me what I do know, ask me what I don't know. Quit making assumptions. Because unlike the saying, when you assume you make an ass out of you and me, no, you just make an ass out of yourself. I got 3 motherfucking degrees, okay? I'm pretty sure I'm more educated than a lot of people that watch my videos. And on top of that, I do make 6 figures, okay? So don't come for me unless you come correct. Better yet, don't even fucking come for me. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. That's my husky that keeps making the noise. I'm going to leave it in because he's pissed just like me. Until next time, bye.